Hi everyone, it's Mike here. So I love working in different sized art journals and different shaped art journals. This is a standard 5x8. I also have my 8-inch circle journal, my 11.5-inch circle journal, but I've also got a square 10x10. But I wanted to try and create a journal which gave me a bit more of a landscape page. And for that, I created a 8x12 landscape art journal. And you can't do an art journal without decorating the cover. So this is what I've done to decorate the cover of this one. And that's what today's video is I'm going to just go through how I decorated the front cover of my new journal. So I will see you back at the end. So I've already cut my backing card to the size that I wanted. This is the backing card from a pack of watercolour, heavy duty watercolour card. So it was going to get thrown in the bin, so I thought I'd put it to use and make the cover of my journal out of it. So as you can see, I'm adding some modelling paste through the Dot Fade stencil by Tim Holtz. I'm just randomly putting that on, and then I'm going to give it a blast with the heat gun just to make sure it's dry before I add my next set, which is the eye chart piece. And I'm just going to scrape the modelling paste through that stencil and then again grab my heat gun and make sure it's all nice and dry before I start adding in my paint and gesso. So you may have spotted the 4 holes in each of the corners of the journal cover. These are going to be the holes that I'm going to put my book rings. Now I can't decide whether to put them on the left hand side or whether to put them on the top, so it's a top folding one. I haven't made up my mind yet, so this is the reason why I've put the holes in all 4 corners. So on with the colour. This is the Dina Wakley Media Black Gesso, and I'm just going to completely cover the base over all of the modelling paste, now that it's all dry, with that black gesso. And as you can see, it's almost dry already, and I don't really need to have the heat gun on it for that long before it's completely dry and I'm ready to start adding my texture layers. And for my texture layers, as you'll see in a moment, I'm using a selection of die cuts from Tim Holtz dies, which are the weathered clock and the gadgets and gears. So I've already punched these out using some grey grunge board, and I'm just adding some gel medium to the backs of these craft tags. Again, these are Ranger craft tags, the number 8s. So I'm just going to stick those down using that gel medium. And the gel medium is the super thick Slap It On from Indigo Blue. So when you're using a thick gel medium like this one of the problems that I've always found is that when you stick items down like this, you always get some splodges coming out from the bottom. Now the best way to get rid of those, I've found, is just to remove them with a brush. But you have to make sure that you clean the brush almost immediately afterwards, otherwise you'll ruin it. But using a brush just to remove any excess of the gel medium works absolutely perfectly for me anyway. This wooden beautiful flourish was given to me by my lovely partner. I'm not sure where it came from, whether it's a dusty attic or whether it's some other company. I've no idea. He just gave me it and said, there you go, I don't want it anymore, you use it. So I gratefully said thank you. So almost done with all my bits, just got one last little cog to add. I'm just going to give it a quick blast over just to make sure everything's being held down first of all, and then I'm going to just add this one small cog right at the join of the flourish and that other cog that I've already stuck down, which was also from stash from a long time ago. So I'm just going to give it a dry, and then we're ready to bring back out the Dina Wakley Black Gesso. So once again, I'm going to cover everything with the black gesso. So I'm going to speed this up quite considerably because obviously all you're doing is just watching me daub black paint down, which isn't very interesting. So I will show you a little bit more and then jump to the end. So everything's nicely covered and has already started to dry, but just to make sure, out comes the heat gun, and then once we're dry we can then start adding our main colour. So my first colour that I'm going to dry brush on is the copper acrylic paint from Reeves. So as you can see by the blur of my hands, I have super sped this up, so because it's quite a long process, it took me about 25 to 30 minutes in reality to do it, but I've condensed it down as a sped up piece of film just to a couple of minutes. So I'm happy with the amount of copper paint that's on there now, so it's time to break out my secondary colour, and this time I'm going to be using the Kingfisher Blue metallic paint from Indigo Blue. This is one of my new favourite colours. This is a brand new colour that was only released this year, and it is definitely going in my top 10 paints for mixed media work. So I'm happy with the level of coverage with the blue highlights on that copper background, and all I'm going to do now just to finish it off is just to add some self-adhesive sticky back gems in strategic places around pretty much on the circles of most of the cogs. And that's it. I'm happy with the cover of my new journal. So the techniques involved in doing a project like that are very, very similar to the canvases that I do and also the frames that I've done in the past. So that's why there wasn't a lot of explanation that I needed to go through, because I've done that 100 times before and you've probably seen it 100 times before, but it just goes to show what you can do if you put your mind to it. You can put those techniques to use in decorating your journals too. So that's all from me for today. I hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, please remember to give it a thumbs up, share the video with all your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. That's all from me for now. I will see you all again at the weekend. Bye for now.